Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to discuss one of the most powerful forces that governs our lives, whether we choose to recognize it or not: discipline. Too often we hear of greatness, of achievement, of success, but rarely do we stop to ask ourselves, what is the true source of this success? Discipline is the foundation of success, a principle that underpins all meaningful achievement in life. Without discipline, goals remain distant aspirations, and potential is never fully realized. Success is not born from sporadic bursts of effort or luck, but from consistent, deliberate actions. It is the daily commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when motivation fades or challenges arise. Discipline provides the structure and the willpower necessary to stay on course, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. At its core, discipline is the ability to control one's actions, thoughts, and behaviors to achieve a desired outcome. It is not a trait reserved for a select few. It is a learned skill, a way of life that anyone can cultivate. Discipline is the ability to choose long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. It is the decision to keep working, keep pushing, and keep striving, even when the fruits of your labor are not immediately apparent. Without this level of focus, dreams are nothing more than idle fantasies. In the pursuit of success, discipline serves as the backbone of progress. It is through disciplined effort that an individual transforms raw talent into skill, aspiration into achievement. Think about athletes who wake up before dawn to train, or entrepreneurs who spend countless hours perfecting their business strategies. These individuals are not successful because of a single moment of brilliance. They succeed because of their unwavering commitment to their craft, honed over countless disciplined hours. The power of discipline lies in its ability to push individuals beyond their limits. When faced with difficulty or obstacles, it is discipline that gives us the strength to persist, to keep going even when the road ahead seems impossible. It is easy to become distracted, to succumb to the temptations that life throws our way, but those who truly succeed are those who master themselves and remain focused on the long-term vision. Discipline allows us to stay grounded and resilient, even when the immediate rewards are not visible. Moreover, discipline is not only about hard work, but also about making wise choices in how we allocate our time, energy, and resources. It requires careful planning and a clear vision of what we want to achieve. Success does not occur by accident. It is the result of intentional action, repeated day after day, even in the face of hardship. The disciplined individual is willing to delay gratification and put in the necessary work that others may be unwilling to do. Importantly, discipline also teaches us the power of consistency. Small, incremental actions taken consistently over time yield results that far exceed the sum of their parts. It's easy to underestimate the power of small steps, but when repeated, they lead to profound transformations. Whether it's dedicating an hour each day to learning a new skill or exercising consistently to improve one's health, these small acts compound and build upon one another, ultimately leading to significant accomplishments. Discipline also provides structure, allowing us to set and achieve goals. By developing disciplined habits, we are able to take control of our time and our life. This structure helps us stay focused on what matters most, helping to eliminate distractions and push aside procrastination. A disciplined person creates routines that reinforce their commitment to success, providing a framework in which progress can be made every single day. Mastery of self is the cornerstone of achieving mastery in life. Before one can hope to control the external world, one must first learn to control their internal world. This concept is not merely about dominating one's actions, but about understanding and guiding the mind, emotions, and behaviors in alignment with a higher purpose. The journey of self-mastery is a transformative process that requires constant effort, reflection, and the willingness to grow. The foundation of self-mastery lies in the ability to control one's thoughts. The human mind is often a turbulent sea of distractions, doubts, fears, and desires. To master oneself, one must first learn to calm this mental chaos. This requires a keen awareness of the thoughts that shape our reality and the courage to redirect them when they are not serving us. We all experience moments of negative self-talk, irrational fears, or limiting beliefs, but it is through the discipline of self-awareness and conscious thought that we can train our minds to focus on what truly matters. Beyond thoughts, mastery of self involves the management of emotions. Our emotions often act as powerful forces that drive our actions, yet they can also cloud our judgment and derail our progress. It is not enough to simply feel, react, or be swept away by the tides of emotion. A person who has mastered themselves understands their emotional triggers and how to respond to them rationally. This emotional intelligence allows them to remain calm in the face of adversity, to avoid making rash decisions during moments of anger or fear, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace that influences all aspects of their life. To achieve mastery of self, one must also develop the ability to control behaviors and habits. Our daily routines and actions dictate the course of our lives. An individual can have all the best intentions in the world, but if their actions are not in alignment with those intentions, success remains out of reach. Self-mastery involves making deliberate choices that align with long-term goals, even when they may conflict with short-term desires or convenience. This requires the discipline to act with consistency and perseverance, even when the path is challenging or the rewards are not immediately visible. Self-mastery also requires the ability to manage one's time effectively. Time is perhaps the most precious resource we have, and how we spend it determines the outcomes we achieve. Those who master themselves understand that they must prioritize their efforts and focus on what truly matters. They do not squander time on trivial distractions or unimportant tasks, but instead they invest their time in activities that align with their values and objectives. They are proactive in shaping their schedule rather than reactive to the demands of others or the whims of the moment. Importantly, mastering oneself also means embracing self-discipline and making sacrifices when necessary. The path to true mastery is not always easy. It requires perseverance, delayed gratification, and sometimes making difficult choices. But by committing to a disciplined lifestyle, one can transcend the limitations that often hold them back. Through this ongoing effort, the individual gains greater control over their destiny, carving out a life that reflects their deepest values and highest potential. In essence, mastery of self is the key that unlocks the potential for mastering life. It allows an individual to act with purpose, to respond to challenges with resilience, and to create a reality that is aligned with their true desires. By understanding and mastering the internal forces that govern our actions, we are better equipped to influence and shape the external circumstances that determine our success. The individual who masters themselves becomes the architect of their own fate, capable of navigating life's obstacles with clarity, focus, and unwavering determination. Discipline has the remarkable ability to turn weaknesses into strengths. This transformation does not occur overnight, but through consistent effort and a focused mindset. Weaknesses are often seen as limitations or obstacles, yet with discipline, they can become opportunities for growth and improvement. The process of turning a weakness into strength requires patience, persistence, and an unyielding commitment to personal development. At the core of this transformation is the understanding that weakness is not a permanent state. It is merely a starting point, a place from which growth can occur. Many individuals believe that weaknesses are fixed traits or inherent limitations, but in truth they are often the result of habits, mindsets, or lack of experience. Through disciplined practice, we can reshape and reframe these perceived weaknesses. What once seemed like a challenge can become a source of power when met with the right attitude and dedication. Take, for example, someone who struggles with public speaking. Initially, they may feel nervous, stumble over words, or lack the confidence to speak in front of a crowd. However, through disciplined practice, repeated efforts to speak in front of others, study techniques, and gradual exposure to their fears, they can gradually overcome this weakness. The more they practice, the more confident they become, and what was once a debilitating weakness transforms into a newfound strength. Discipline in this context does not simply mean repetition, but also means refining and improving techniques, learning from mistakes, and embracing discomfort as part of the growth process. This principle applies to all aspects of life. Whether it is physical endurance, mental focus, or emotional resilience, discipline allows us to confront and overcome weaknesses. Consider someone who struggles with maintaining physical fitness. At first, they may find it difficult to commit to regular exercise, or they may lack the motivation to push past their initial discomfort. Over time, however, consistent discipline, committing to a regular routine, pushing through the early stages of fatigue, and resisting the temptation to quit results in improved strength, stamina, and overall health. The weakness of physical inactivity gradually shifts into the strength of a disciplined, fit lifestyle. Another powerful aspect of discipline in turning weakness into strength is the role it plays in transforming our mindset. Often weaknesses are rooted in negative self-beliefs or limiting thoughts. The disciplined individual recognizes these beliefs and actively works to change them. Instead of accepting a weakness as part of their identity, they take deliberate actions to confront it, thereby shifting their mental framework. Through disciplined thought patterns, they begin to believe in their ability to change and improve, which fuels their motivation and determination. This mindset shift is crucial in transforming weakness into strength because it removes self-imposed barriers and opens up new possibilities for growth. Furthermore, discipline fosters resilience, the ability to keep going in the face of adversity. When confronted with a weakness, it is easy to become discouraged and give up. However, discipline enables us to continue pushing forward despite setbacks, failures, or moments of self-doubt. Every time we push through difficulty, we build mental fortitude and resilience, which in turn strengthens us. The disciplined individual understands that failure is not a permanent condition, but a temporary setback on the road to improvement. This resilience allows them to learn from their mistakes and continue to refine their approach until their weakness becomes a strength. Discipline also allows us to break free from the comfort zone of avoidance. Many individuals shy away from their weaknesses, choosing to ignore or hide them rather than face them head-on. Through disciplined effort, we learn to confront our weaknesses directly. This courage to face and work on our limitations is itself a source of strength, as it cultivates a mindset of growth and self-improvement. By embracing our weaknesses and turning them into areas of focus, we begin to see that we are capable of much more than we originally believed. With time, effort, and the right amount of discipline, weaknesses can be not only overcome but transformed into strengths that propel us forward in life. The power of habit is one of the most influential forces in shaping our lives, yet it often operates beneath the surface of our awareness. Habits, both good and bad, dictate much of our daily behavior and ultimately determine the trajectory of our success. They are the small, repeated actions we take every day, often without thinking, that accumulate over time and shape who we become. While it is easy to overlook the importance of habits in our lives, understanding and harnessing their power can be the key to achieving lasting change and personal transformation. At its core, a habit is a learned behavior that becomes automatic after repeated practice. This repetition creates neural pathways in the brain that make the behavior easier and more efficient over time. In essence, our brains are wired to repeat actions that have been practiced consistently, as they conserve energy by automating routine tasks. Whether it's brushing your teeth, checking your phone first thing in the morning, or eating a snack at a specific time of day, these behaviors are ingrained habits that take little conscious effort to execute. The power of habit lies in its ability to shape our daily lives without requiring much mental energy or willpower. Once a habit is formed, it becomes second nature, and our decisions are often driven by these ingrained patterns. Habits allow us to perform necessary tasks efficiently, freeing up cognitive resources for more complex decisions. However, this same power can work against us if our habits are not aligned with our goals. For instance, A person who consistently indulges in unhealthy eating habits or procrastinates on important tasks may find themselves stuck in a cycle of negative behaviors despite their intentions to improve. The key to leveraging the power of habit is recognizing that our behaviors are not set in stone. Habits are not permanent fixtures of our character. They are patterns that can be reshaped with intentional effort. It is possible to change our habits by starting small and gradually replacing old, unproductive behaviors with new, positive ones. This process requires consistent, conscious action over time to rewire the brain and create new neural pathways that support more beneficial behaviors. One powerful way to create new habits is to anchor them to existing routines. For example, if you want to develop the habit of exercising regularly, you could link it to an existing habit, such as having a morning cup of coffee. By associating the new behavior with something you already do automatically, you make it easier to remember and integrate into your day. This is often referred to as habit stacking, and it allows you to build momentum by attaching positive behaviors to already established routines. Moreover, habits have a compounding effect. Small, positive habits, when practiced consistently over time, can lead to significant improvements in our lives. Just as tiny negative habits, when repeated daily, can spiral into larger problems, small, positive habits compound into massive gains. A person who dedicates just 10 minutes a day to learning a new skill will, over time, develop expertise in that area. A person who commits to reading for 15 minutes each day will accumulate vast amounts of knowledge over months to months and years. The key to success lies in the consistency of these small actions which, when compounded, create significant transformation. The power of habit also extends to our ability to break free from negative cycles. Recognizing that our habits shape our reality gives us the power to take control of our lives. By intentionally replacing bad habits with better ones, we shift the course of our actions and, in turn, the course of our future. This process can be challenging, especially when deeply ingrained habits are involved, but it is possible with patience, self-discipline, and a commitment to personal growth. As we break free from unproductive habits, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and unlock the potential for lasting change. In the end, the power of habit is both a gift and a responsibility. It allows us to automate positive behaviors and make progress toward our goals with minimal effort. But it also requires us to be conscious of the habits we form, as they will either propel us forward or keep us stuck. By cultivating good habits and breaking free from negative ones, we create a foundation for lasting success and personal fulfillment. The key to harnessing the power of habit is simple: consistent, intentional action that aligns with our goals and values. The mindset of a disciplined person is rooted in a deep understanding of purpose, focus, and self-control. It is a mindset that seeks to prioritize long-term goals over short-term pleasures and values consistency over fleeting bursts of motivation. At its core, discipline is about cultivating habits and mental frameworks that empower an individual to remain on course, regardless of the external circumstances. This mindset doesn't come naturally to most, but it can be developed and nurtured through consistent practice and intentional thought. A disciplined person possesses a clear sense of purpose. They are acutely aware of their goals and are unwavering in their commitment to achieve them. This sense of purpose acts as a guiding compass, providing direction and motivation even when the journey becomes difficult. The disciplined individual understands that their actions must align with their purpose, and they are able to distinguish between tasks that move them closer to their objectives and distractions that waste time and energy. This clarity helps them avoid the common pitfall of procrastination, a trap that often results from a lack of focus or an unclear vision. The mindset of a disciplined person also thrives on focus. Focus is the ability to direct one's attention and energy toward a specific task, despite the noise and distractions of daily life. A disciplined individual is not easily swayed by momentary temptations, and they develop the ability to stay present in the moment. Whether they are working on a project, training for a physical goal, or learning a new skill, they give their full attention to the task at hand. This level of focus allows them to work more efficiently and effectively, ensuring that they are continually making progress toward their goals. They understand that every moment of undistracted work is a step forward, and they avoid multitasking, which often leads to divided attention and reduced quality of output. Self-control is another hallmark of the mindset of a disciplined person. Self-control involves the ability to delay gratification and resist the temptation of immediate rewards in favor of long-term benefits. In a world where instant gratification is constantly encouraged, the disciplined person develops the mental strength to say no to distractions, whether they come in the form of social media, unhealthy habits, or unnecessary indulgences. This ability to delay pleasure is not rooted in deprivation, but in the knowledge that greater rewards lie ahead. It requires a deep sense of awareness and the understanding that every decision, no matter how small, has consequences. A disciplined person is always weighing these consequences, choosing actions that support their larger vision over momentary desires. A disciplined mindset also requires resilience in the face of failure and setbacks. No journey toward success is without its challenges, and the disciplined individual understands that failure is not the end, but an opportunity for growth. Instead of being discouraged by mistakes, they view them as feedback and learning experiences. This resilience allows them to stay the course, even when progress is slow or obstacles seem insurmountable. They know that persistence is key to overcoming difficulties, and they are not easily deterred by temporary setbacks. In this way, their mindset is one of continual improvement, always striving to be better, do better, and achieve more. The disciplined person also cultivates patience. Success rarely comes overnight, and the ability to practice patience allows them to stay committed to the process, even when results are not immediately visible. They understand that building anything of value takes time, whether it's a new skill, a business, or physical fitness, and they are willing to invest the time and effort required. The disciplined mindset does not seek shortcuts or quick fixes, but instead embraces the journey of gradual, steady progress. This patience is rooted in the belief that consistent effort will ultimately lead to success, and they remain steadfast in their pursuit, even in the absence of immediate rewards. Lastly, the mindset of a disciplined person is one of accountability. They hold themselves to high standards and take full responsibility for their actions, both successes and failures. They do not make excuses or blame others for their shortcomings. Instead, they recognize their role in shaping their outcomes. This accountability drives them to constantly evaluate their behavior, ensuring that it aligns with their values and long-term goals. It fosters a sense of personal ownership over their achievements and failures, which ultimately empowers them to take control of their future. Through this self-awareness, they are able to stay motivated and committed, knowing that they have the power to shape their destiny. Discipline is often perceived as something restrictive, a force that limits freedom by imposing rules and structure. However, true freedom is found through discipline, not in the absence of it. The irony lies in the fact that discipline, far from being a burden, is the key to unlocking the freedom to achieve our goals, live with purpose, and create the life we truly desire. Without discipline, life becomes chaotic, directionless, and filled with missed opportunities. With discipline, we create the framework for a life of greater control, stability, and ultimately freedom. At its core, discipline is the practice of taking control over our actions, thoughts, and behaviors. It's about making deliberate choices and committing to them consistently, even when the path becomes challenging or uncomfortable. It's easy to believe that freedom means the ability to act without restraint, to follow any impulse or desire. However, freedom in this sense is short-lived and often leads to consequences that undermine personal well-being. In contrast, discipline offers a form of freedom that is far more powerful, a freedom rooted in mastery over oneself and one's actions. By exercising discipline, we gain the ability to focus our energy and time on what matters most. It allows us to create habits that support our long-term goals instead of succumbing to distractions that divert our attention. The disciplined individual doesn't waste time on things that hinder growth. They understand that each moment of undisciplined behavior is a moment of opportunity lost. Through discipline, we begin to master our time, our focus, and our emotions, which creates space for greater productivity and success. Moreover, discipline frees us from the grip of procrastination and self-doubt. We all have moments when we feel overwhelmed by the tasks ahead of us, or when fear and uncertainty stop us from taking action. But discipline teaches us to push through those feelings, to take action despite our doubts, and to break down tasks into manageable steps. It enables us to take consistent action even when motivation is lacking. By doing so, we build momentum, and the more we act with discipline, the more confident we become in our ability to handle challenges. This process of overcoming procrastination and fear empowers us to take control of our lives and create the future we desire. Discipline also offers the freedom to break free from unhealthy habits and negative cycles. Many of us are trapped in patterns of behavior that keep us stuck, whether it's the habit of procrastination, poor time management, or unhealthy lifestyle choices. These habits limit our potential and hold us back from reaching our goals. However, discipline provides the structure necessary to break these cycles. It requires us to replace unproductive behaviors with positive, growth-oriented actions. Through discipline, we regain control over our choices and our environment, and we create the freedom to act in alignment with our highest values. Another way discipline provides freedom is by giving us the ability to delay immediate gratification for long-term rewards. In today's world, instant gratification is a constant temptation, whether through social media, entertainment, or quick-fix solutions to our problems. While indulging in these short-term pleasures may feel liberating in the moment, they often leave us feeling empty or dissatisfied in the long run. Discipline enables us to resist these impulses and instead focus on actions that bring greater, lasting fulfillment. By setting aside the pursuit of immediate pleasure, we free ourselves to pursue deeper goals and more meaningful achievements. Furthermore, discipline fosters resilience, the ability to keep moving forward even when faced with adversity. Life is full of obstacles and setbacks, and the undisciplined person may find it easy to give up when things don't go according to plan. But discipline empowers us to remain committed to our path, even when the going gets tough. It teaches that failure is not an endpoint, but a stepping stone toward growth. Through discipline, we learn to persist, to adapt, and to overcome challenges, which strengthens our resolve and builds our confidence. This resilience is a form of freedom, as it allows us to navigate the ups and downs of life without being controlled by circumstances. Ultimately, discipline is the path to the kind of freedom that is enduring and empowering. It is the freedom to pursue our dreams without being derailed by distractions or negative habits. It is the freedom to shape our lives according to our values, not in reaction to the impulses of the moment. And it is the freedom to take responsibility for our actions and create a future that aligns with our true desires. Through discipline, we take ownership of our time, our energy, and our lives, and in doing so, we unlock the true potential of freedom. In conclusion, discipline is the cornerstone of success, the catalyst for personal growth, and the key to unlocking true freedom. It shapes our habits, guides our actions, and enables us to stay focused on long-term goals, even in the face of challenges. Through discipline, we transform weaknesses into strengths, master ourselves, and break free from limiting behaviors. By consistently applying discipline, we cultivate the resilience, focus, and self-control necessary to achieve greatness. In essence, discipline is not a restriction, but a powerful force that empowers us to create the life we desire and reach our highest potential.